child's parents, Gerald McCann, aged 39, Kate Healy, 39, the couple David Payne, 41, Fiona Payne, 35, and her mother, Diane Webster, 63, the couple Matthew Oldfield, 38, Rachel Mampley, 37, and the couple Russell O'Brien, 37, Jane Tanner, 36, are questioned for the first time by the Polícia Judiciária. During the first week, we interviewed hundreds of persons, the family, the friends, the resort's employees, and all the persons who had contact with the child. From this first batch of testimonies, we obtained an outline of what happened that night. It was on the back of one of Madeleine's books that, on the night of the crime, family and friends wrote down the collective versions of that same night. The draft was used to match the depositions from the 9 British friends about what happened. According to that version, which will later be confirmed during questioning, at 8:45 p.m. the McCanns entered the restaurant and then the other couples arrived. Dinner evolves normally. Given the fact that the children are alone in the apartments, the families take turns in checking the children. At around 9:05 p.m., Matt checks the windows of the various apartments and finds everything quiet and the windows closed. Between 9:05 and 9:10 p.m., Gerald McCann goes to the apartment, asserts that he entered through the front door and enters the children's bedroom. Everything seems well to him. At a later point in time, Gerald will say that he sensed that a stranger was inside the room. When he leaves, he meets English TV producer Jeremiah, who walks the child to fall asleep. He remains talking to him under the apartment's living room window. At around 9:10 p.m., Jane Tanner goes to check her children and to check the other apartments. On her way to 5D, she passes Gerald and Jeremiah. Jane will later tell the authorities that she saw a stranger carrying a child in his arms on Agustin da Silva Street. At 9:30, Russell and Matt check all the apartments. Matt looks through the door of the McCann children's bedroom. From that standpoint, he can only see the twins. Russell remains to take care of his sick daughter. At 9:50 p.m., Russell returns to the tapas. On the same night, on the other side of Aldeia da Luz, the Smith family, 4 adults and 5 children, have just paid for their dinner at the Dolphins restaurant. The credit card receipt was clocked at 9:27 p.m. on the 3rd of May 2007. The Smiths go out for a drink at Kelly's bar. They don't take long. It's around 9:50 p.m. when they start walking towards the Estrela da Luz resort. When they cross Vincent de Abril Street, arriving at Escola Primária Street, they have just walked 30 meters and they cross paths with a man who carries a child in his arms. It is just after 10 p.m. when Kate goes to her children's bedroom using the shorter route, entering the apartment through the sliding window, and sees Madeleine is missing. She asserts that the bedroom's window and shutters had been opened. She drops everything, leaves the twins, who continue sleeping, in a room with an open window, and heads for the tapas bar to raise the alarm. This is where part of Kate McCann's behavior on that night becomes incomprehensible. Instead of stopping right here and shouting out to the people who were at the restaurant where her husband was, what she does is climb down these stairs and walk a distance that is certainly twice as much as the distance from here to the restaurant, which is located approximately 50 meters from here as the crow flies. When she arrived there, she cried out, "We let her down," which is a medical term that is often used in medicine. She's gone. And then everyone came running and everyone used the entrance on this side of the apartment again. There were many contradictions. The most evident one was that someone was inside that room when Gerald went in. If he didn't enter, he just peeked through the door. That also has to be taken into account with what the abductor may have thought, if there was an abductor at all. An abductor cannot be certain that the father wouldn't enter the room because he would be discovered. Therefore, standing behind the door was practically impossible. Physically, that is not possible. He didn't fit behind the door and the wardrobes were blocked by the cots. But given the drama that the family was living and the climate of commotion, we preferred not to make them suspect. The first contradiction is related to the distance. Everyone involved, except for Kate, stated that when they went to check on the children, they used the apartment's front doors. That meant walking over 100 meters more than they would walk if they entered through the sliding windows. Only the McCanns confirmed that they hadn't locked that window, justifying that they could see the window from the tapas. It is incomprehensible that they would walk over 100 meters more to check on the children when there was a shorter route. Maddie's father said that when he went to check on his children, he was in a hurry to use the toilet. Still, he took the longer route. Let's check the map. The yellow line is the route that is walked until the sliding window. The red line is the route that all of the parents state they took, approximately twice as long. This preoccupation from the 9 English people only shows that they were afraid of being accused for leaving their children in a dangerous situation. In fact, these contradictions could be justified merely with the need of the English families to demonstrate that the children were fully safe. According to a Portuguese lawyer who is experienced in working with several English clients, the behavior may be justified by the fear of being accused of abandoning the children to danger, a crime that is severely punished by the UK laws. Having been left by their parents, exposed to situations of risk and danger that they, in their young age, wouldn't be able to protect themselves from, and to confront and to resolve on their own, is considered to be a serious risk and serious and neglectful behavior from the parents. The second relevant contradiction is given by Jane Tanner's deposition, who states she saw the abductor. One cannot understand how Jane Tanner passes Gerald and Jeremiah and sees a man carrying a child, with both of them failing to see her and the abductor. The only possible explanation for them not seeing her is given by her husband's deposition, who says that she saw the abductor when she was returning from the apartment and not when she was going there. It was possible for her to see Jeremiah and Gerald without any of them seeing her, but only if she was coming from the back of the apartment using the sliding window. In any case, the detailed identification that she gives of a possible abductor is impossible. See with your own eyes. Jane Tanner asserts that she clearly saw, at this distance and with this lack of light, 5 aspects. First, she saw a dark-haired man, aged 35 to 40, slender, with the dark hair falling down his neck. Second, that man wore linen trousers colored between beige and golden. Third, he wore a duffy jacket, but not a thick. Fourth, he wore black classical shoes. Fifth, the man walked in a hurry, with a child laying on his outstretched arms, a position that is more likely for a statue than for a person who walks carrying a child. Jane's statements were the basis for the abduction theory, but for us, and later on for the English police, they had doubtful value. How was it possible to see so much at such a distance, and under that light? How was it possible for Gerald and Jeremiah not to see Jane or the abductor? This sighting has another problem. Jane saw the alleged abductor crossing Agostinho da Silva Street, and less than 30 minutes later, the Smith family also sees a man carrying a child on Escola Primária Street, on the other side of the village, and walking into the opposite direction of the man that Jane had seen. We have 2 sightings of potential abductors. The problem is that the Smith sighting doesn't confirm Jane Tanner's vision in its time and its direction. The man that is seen by the Smith is on the other side of the village. He is heading for the beach area, carrying the child against his chest and not on outstretched arms. But given his physical look, they could be referring to the same person. In a while, we will see to whom and who is lying.